Just for you. I'm Janine and this is episode 267. How is your summer going? I'm loving my summer. It is amazing. It's full of adventures. It is more exciting than any summer I've had in a very long time. I'm super happy and I hope you are too. Have you heard of Humans of New York? I had, but I didn't really know what it was until I listened to a fascinating interview with the founder of this project and Tim Ferriss. So many entrepreneurial stories are inspiring. These now well-known and often highly successful people started where we are now, with hardly any resources, but a great idea. They took risks, they took some falls, but got back up. And they stayed persistent and became creative when others around them gave up. I'm always inspired by these startup legends. But the one of Brandon Stanton, creator of Humans of New York, is especially captivating. Maybe because it's not one of those glamorous rags to riches story, from dishwasher to millionaire. One of those stories that intimidates more than it inspires. Because it resembles a fairy tale more than it does a lesson that we might be able to follow. Brandon's story is a humble story, and that is why it pertains to us. His story is the topic of today's episode. Don't wait. Don't wait for things to be perfect, for the stars to align, for your budget and your savings to be at a certain number that you or someone in your life came up with. Don't wait for the right people to call you back or join you, or your knowledge to be a passing grade that, again, you probably artificially set for yourself. Don't wait. Brandon didn't wait. Brandon Stanton moved to New York in 2010 without a job, money, and any ideas on what's next for his career. All he had was a camera, so he decided to go out into the streets of New York and take portraits of everyday people. Today, Humans of New York is followed by over 25 million people on social media. It features daily glimpses into the life of strangers on the streets of New York City. His project has been turned into 2 #1 New York Times best-selling books, Humans of New York and Humans of New York Stories. Brandon even was invited in 2015 to interview Barack Obama in the Oval Office. A story of someone who didn't wait for the right idea, the perfect job, or better circumstances. He didn't wait for anyone to approve of his idea or give him a bunch of money to execute it. His story is a story of someone who started with what he had. Most things in our life don't get done, not because the right person never arrived, or because we didn't land the job we wanted, or we never made enough money. They don't get done because we don't start. We prefer to wait and hide behind the things that didn't happen the way we wanted. We wait for the right time, more time, enough time. Time is a running clock. Right now, this second, and then the next, is 1 second less of our life. When we are at the end of our life, we all will regret at least one thing, and that is that we waited too long, that we stayed in the wrong relationship too long, or that we waited taking action on the right one too long. We wait. We think we have all this time still ahead of us, and in the end, we never take the action because we run out of time. Brandon himself says, everyone wants to wait until they have the perfect idea to start working. Even if you have an inkling of what you want to do, start moving towards it. It's going to flesh itself out through the process of moving towards the goal. When he started taking photographs, Brandon said he felt lost and directionless in life. I was terrified, he said. I felt so much pressure to discover this giant purpose, to do something important. It was paralyzing. You know what changed? I love this. Get ready. It changed when he started focusing on what he was going to do with his day instead of what he was going to do with his life. This is exactly where most of us get hung up. This is why the big success stories of the Apples and the Airbnbs of the world scare us. We look at someone's life in its entirety, 20 years told in one book or one newspaper article. And then we look at our life in its entirety and we think we need to write it all out right now. That it needs to look and flow like the story of the famous ones that we admire. And the immensity of such a task is paralyzing. Planning out our future is not only impossible, it's not necessary. The future is as limited as your mind at the time that you think about it. I would not want the future for myself that I dreamed of at various times throughout my life. A, it always changed anyway. And B, it was limited. Today, looking back, I made things possible that I never imagined. Brandon says, by the time you get to where you're going to be, it's not going to look anything like it did when you sat on that couch thinking about it. So don't wait. It's not worth it. Just start. Use what you have. It may seem little to you, but it will be big for someone else. It may appear trivial, even meaningless, but someone else needed just that. It may not seem good enough to you, but for someone else, it's expert level. So stop thinking. Simply know that your perspective is the only one you have, and that there are millions of other realities out there, none of which you can predict in detail. So don't wait on your one scenario to come through. Take action and allow for reality, divine intervention, opportunity, and the sheer power of your untapped resources to show you a different outcome. Climbing mountains teaches me this every time. I cannot see how difficult a wall will be until I get on it. Sometimes, as I watch the person ahead of me struggle, I have been arrogant and thought, wow, this doesn't look so hard. What is he doing? Step here, use that hand for this hold, and so on. It looks so clear from below. Until I'm in the same spot and humbled by the wall that doesn't look so easy anymore when you face it. Other times, I have been widely intimidated by a wall that looks really flat without any apparent holds. I was so scared to get on, thinking I will never make it. I can think and assume all day long. Looking up on a wall will never be the same as actually touching it with my hands and my feet and moving up on it. It's not until I get on and actually climb that I discover myself what it's like. So I learned not to think much beyond my first couple of moves and simply go. Not wait, not conjecture, not bring up needless feelings, whether positive or negative, but to simply go with my limited skill set and my low confidence and my narrow mind. Do the same. Don't wait any longer. Take the steps that call on you to be taken without necessarily seeing the entire picture, the entire path, or the end destination. Start today. Start small. Start something that moves you forward every single day. Don't wait. Much love.